Hi friends, today we're going to be taking a look at the AL suffix and the IC suffix. You'll notice we also have a header IAL, but you're going to realize that that's just a spelling change. Drop the Y to I before adding that suffix that begins with a vowel. Okay. Now all of these have a meaning of related to. Okay. You notice musical is one of our words, and that's related to music. Poetic is related to poems. Fictional is related to fiction, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, while most of these are going to be adjectives, and in this sort, the IC is going to indicate all of them are adjectives, you're also going to notice that sometimes it's going to take a noun and turn it into a verb and turning it into a noun with that AL suffix right there. Every so often, it usually is an adjective, okay, but it can indicate a noun. When I think about the word arrival, I have, I'm ready to arrive, my arrival has come, okay? And so that's taking it from the verb arrive to the noun arrival. But you'll also notice usually that AL is going to indicate an adjective, okay? So you can mark up your headers in any way that helps you to remember that, okay? So I want you to just watch and think with me throughout this video and then go back, sort your words, and mark them up in the way that we've talked about, okay? So here's my word: fictional, burial, and magnetic. Okay, and so like I said, they're all meaning related to. Fictional, something is a fictional reading that's related to fiction. Burial is a noun, right? That's where we took the verb bury, changed that Y to I before adding our suffix. So I also want us to be thinking about what parts of speech they are, and when we find a noun like we did here, go ahead and mark that up and highlight it, just so we're paying attention and we notice that, right? You see how the word burial is related to that base word of bury? And then we've got magnetic related to magnet, right? So as I'm going through the rest of these, we're on the hunt for nouns, right? And we'll mark our nouns in the same way we did burial. So I have comical related to comics. Territorial, my cat is very territorial. Oop, that was a territory, right? So I had change Y to I before adding my suffix that begins with a vowel. Poetic. Islamic, okay, and that comes from related to Islam. So you might have like an Islamic tradition that you notice, or the Islamic culture is an adjective. Industrial, we had industry as our base word, and we changed that Y to I before adding that suffix that begins with a vowel. Industrial. Accidental. Tutorial, this is a noun, right? And it's related to the verb tutor, and to create a tutorial by tutoring somebody through it. So I'm going to mark that one up. Arrival, we talked about that one, right? It's time for our arrival. It's taking arrive, right, which was an E drop before adding that suffix that begins with a vowel. We changed that into a noun. Alphabetic, related to the alphabet. Heroic, related to hero. Logical, related to logic. Memorial works just like burial, right? So we've got memory as our base word there. We change that Y to I before adding that suffix that begins with a vowel. I'm going to mark that up with an N for noun and highlight that one. Editorial, same thing, okay? So an editor would write an editorial, and we've got that verb edit that's changing that into a noun, an editorial. Dramatic, related to drama, right? Global, We had globe was our base word. So you can see globe was our base word right there. Drop the E before adding that suffix that begins with a vowel. Musical, related to music. Angelic, related to angel. Coastals, related to the coast. Patriotic is related to patriot. Rhythmic, related to rhythm. And betrayal is related to betray, and taking that verb into a noun on that last one. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is, I know I talked a lot about them throughout, but I'm going to really pay attention to my words that had spelling changes. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to underline the base word for all of these, so I can really pay attention to those spelling changes that happen before that suffix, right? And all of these in industrial had a base word that ended with a Y, where we changed to I before adding that suffix. Oh, actually tutorial didn't, did it? It's a little bit of an oddball because tutory is not the base word, but it still is following that pattern. So that's interesting to note right there. Arrival had an E drop. Memorial kind of had some interesting sound changes between memory and memorial. This one's a little bit interesting too, in that we've got two suffixes, and this one is sort of like tutorial right there. So you see the power of breaking up the words and taking a look at the different chunks and spelling changes. And then we have betrayal. Don't expect nearly as many spelling changes in this last one. We have fictional, base word fiction, comical, base word comic, accidental, base word accident, logical, base word logic, global. We did notice a spelling change there, right? We had an E drop. It wasn't global, it's global. And then musical, related to music, coastal. Let's see if there's any spelling changes over here. Magnet. This one's interesting too, right? Because we had poem and we have this IC. So this one here was a, oh, you know what? Poetic. This base word's poet, right? So taking that noun and turning it into an adjective. I was going to say, I've never thought about a M to a T before. Well, would have been super odd. Islamic is the base word Islam. Alphabetic, no spelling changes there. Heroic, no spelling changes there. Dramatic, it's got a fun accent change between drama and dramatic. We added a T right there too, I'm noticing. Angelic, base word angel. Patriot to patriotic. And rhythm to rhythmic. Okay, so friends, go ahead and get your word sorted out, mark it up in the same way I did, and come back and take a look at this last screen, so you can kind of pause right here when you're ready and do your thinking on your own, and then go back and check. Don't forget to write your words and sort in your word sort notebook as well. Thanks for thinking with me, friends.